Yo, how's it going, you guys? It's Market Scraper, and in this update, let's take a look at the S&P 500 or the SPY and see if today's candle, basically, if this is expected or if this is unexpected in terms of the stick figure lines that we drew on this chart in our last update, basically on Friday, and see what's going on here. So let's jump into this now. But before we get in this video, if you get any value from this content, don't forget to put a smash down on that like button and subscribe to this channel, or don't smash the like button, or do whatever you want to do. Let's just get into this. Okay, so if we look over here, basically in our last update, we drew all these stick figure lines on this chart here, as you can see. We talked about these important areas, especially this gap right here we can see, and you can see today where the price went. We ended down here. We had a line actually, as you could see right here. Our line was right here, this black line here, and we actually ended up going right to that. So what was this black line for exactly? This was showing basically the 20 period, or actually sorry, the 100 period moving average right over here. And this was showing basically we'll probably have a retest down here. In addition to that, filling this gap would be basically the ideal scenario. That's kind of what we expected. That's our minimal move to the downside before going to the upside. So that's our first target here. We have a secondary target here. And one of the scenarios we talked about was basically we could see this move down here and then all the way down potentially to this area over here before going to the upside. That was one of our scenarios, and we got that scenario by looking at some stuff in the past. Primarily what happened over here. This is what gave us that insight of maybe, because over here we had a third move to the downside after rejection at the 20 period moving average. This was a similar area or stuff that happened to what we're seeing in the moment up here. And basically we like to look at the historical charts basically to see if we can get any insight, if we can get any advantage to what's going on in the present. And we also talked about the other scenario where actually the ideal scenario would be basically if we just quickly go down, ideal for the bulls at least, is quickly go down, fill this gap up here, and then move to the upside. So we'll see if this moving average holds, but it wouldn't be surprising to get one more move to the downside. And we talked about the convergence of the CPI data potentially, and the anticipation of that, or a sell-off on that news or something that takes us down with basically in this kind of trajectory here. But we can see that we are already made to this downside move already here. So that was pretty quick, and we'll see if we end up going down here, or if this was the, are we done with the move to the downside? So we're going to be watching this closely here. Keep in mind, we did fill this gap here. We have a unfilled gap to the upside here, and we expect this gap to be filled. And we'll see though, because if we actually end up breaking down below the 100 period moving average here, and the thing to watch though, we're expecting basically, I think this was like 228, basically a similar price to over here. We expect to stay higher than this price over here. And if we break below this price, this would be concerning and would open up the door for potentially going to the 200 period MA down here, which is eventually going to keep rising, however. So we'll be watching that closely, and we'll see if this move here and this move that we are kind of expecting is still intact. And we are going to revisit this situation depending on if we start to move to the upside or if we start to continue down here, and we will reevaluate what the candles look like here and kind of try to, again, compare that move to history to see if there's any updates, any changes in our basically thesis of what we would be expecting here. I hope you guys got some value from this content. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.